So our third story for today is from the United Nations. The Secretary General Antonio Guterres is sounding the alarm. He is really worried at the death toll in Gaza because according to what most people have said, this crisis in Gaza has killed far more children than in any other crisis. And not just children alone, even journalists have had to suffer a lot from this crisis. And when you put all this together, right, my brothers and sisters, when you put all this together, it makes you wonder if Israel is actually going after Hamas or just going after every single person. Because if Israel's only intention is to root out Hamas, wouldn't they have realized by now, given the number of people they've killed so far, that this whole strategy needs a review? That maybe, just maybe, they need to go back to the drawing board and reassess their whole approach all over again? Because might be, just maybe, it's not working out. I think any logical person, after seeing the figures, after seeing the number of bombs they've poured on Gaza, after seeing the number of buildings that they've leveled to the ground, will say to themselves, maybe we should rethink things all over again. Maybe we should go back and reevaluate our whole stance on this thing. Because what we have been doing so far hasn't entirely worked out, hasn't really been working out. About 6,500 children have been killed, while about 3,350 women have also been killed. Is that really working out? About, 60 journalists killed. Is that really working out? So let's go through this article where Antonio Guterres is sounding the alarm and is letting us know that things are quickly getting out of control and we should maybe slow down. And the friends of Israel could maybe caution Israel to slow down because what they are doing isn't benefiting them. It's only making people see them as warmongers, as people who just want to inflict pain and suffering on the Palestinians. So let's go to the article. Gaza, unprecedented and unparalleled civilian death toll, Guterres said. So he went on to say that also addressing how the region can move forward once the fighting stops, the UN chief said that it was important to be able to transform this tragedy into an opportunity. For that to be possible, it is essential that after the war, we move to a determined, irreversible way to a two-state solution, he told correspondents. Yeah, I think most people have kind of like float this out there about a two-state solution, but it remains to be seen if the people involved would want it, remember, because I think that at the end of the day, this would be dependent on the Israelis and the Palestinians on what form of state they will want, they would like to have. And I personally think that the best solution would be a two-state solution. The Palestinians would have their state. The Israelis will have their state. Gaza and West Bank will become one state for the Palestinians, while the Israelis will have what they have now. But they will go back to their initial borders, and all the Israelis' illegal settlement will have to be removed. So let's continue. It means also that after the war, and this is my opinion, I believe it to be important after the war to have a strengthened Palestinian Authority to assume responsibilities in Gaza. He said a humanitarian ceasefire was a crucial first step, along with unrestricted access for humanitarian aid. the liberation of hostage, and an end to violations of international humanitarian law and protection of civilians. He said the Palestinian Authority, which administered the West Bank and which was forced out of Gaza in 2006 by Hamas, could clearly not assume control while Israeli tanks remain, meaning there must be a transition period. I do not think that a United Nations protectorate in Gaza is a solution. I think we need a multi stakeholder approach in which different countries, different entities will cooperate. For Israel, of course, the US is the main guarantor of its security. For Palestinians, the neighboring and Arab countries of the region are essential, Mr. Guterres said. So everybody needs to come together to make the conditions for a transition, allowing for our strengthened Palestinian Authority to assume responsibility in Gaza, and then, based on that, to finally move in a determined and irreversible way to a two-state solution based on the principles that have been largely established by international community and which I have time and time again outlined. I think he is right. That is the only way forward. They will have to strengthen the Palestinian Authority, not necessarily dismantling Hamas, but maybe linking Hamas with the Palestinian Authority. Because if there's one thing most people have realized is that the Palestinian Authority in West Bank is spineless. They are so weak. They are so ineffective. For example, Israel has managed to encroach in the West Bank. They have managed to build a lot of illegal settlement in the West Bank, and the Palestinian Authority is unable to stop them. The Palestinian Authority have not been able to push back on all these illegal settlements in the West Bank, but none of that has been built in Gaza. And do you know why? Because Hamas will not allow that. Hamas will not tolerate that, right? So you can see that Hamas is a more stronger entity than the Palestinian Authority. And I understand that people don't want to negotiate with so-called terrorist groups. But if you ask yourself, who are the people currently running Afghanistan? Isn't the Taliban that was considered a terrorist group? They are the one running Afghanistan. So if peace were to be in the Middle East or between Israel and Palestine, let Hamas become a government in Gaza, but working together with the government in the West Bank. Because we cannot, I don't think it's even possible to eradicate Hamas. It's not even possible. Hamas has his roots in Gaza, and that is it. You cannot eliminate them anymore. If you try to push them out, if you try to sideline them from negotiations, it's just going to drag everything all over again. It's going to be like the case in Afghanistan, where America spent about 20 years there, spending trillions of dollars, and at the end of the day, everything was handed back to the Taliban. After how long? 20 years. After how much? Trillions of dollars. We shouldn't make that same mistake again. Hamas must be on the table. Hamas must be negotiating with the government in the West Bank, that's the Palestinian authorities. They have to form a common government. However they want to structure the government will depend on the both of them, but they have to work together. Maybe a federal state might even be the best solution, While Hamas controls Gaza, the Palestinian Authority controls the West Bank, but under a federation, that is also a way forward. Because I think that if the Palestinian Authority take over Gaza in this same state as weak as they are now, Israel will just sweep into Gaza and colonize Gaza all over again. So Hamas has to be there, but not in this current state and carrying out all sorts of atrocities. Maybe they have to reinvent themselves to become like a political group and also represent the people in a democratic manner. But you guys out there, share your thoughts and opinions with us. What is your take on Antonio Guterres' remarks on the Israel's bombardment of Gaza and a two-state solution for Israel and Palestine? And what do you think about the whole notion of handing Gaza back to the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank after knowing how weak and spineless they are, after knowing that they have not done anything to keep Israel away from the West Bank? Do you think that they will be able to keep Israel away from Gaza as Hamas has done? Share that thought with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. Please don't forget to like this video and share this video and subscribe to this channel, because that helps us a lot and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.